So welcome to a new video, something completely new today. As you can see, I'm in my studio slash office. I spent the last week redecorating this place. Normally my wife works here, and it was quite a mess. And I just redecorated this place with all my camera stuff and some camera books. Here's my first camera, the first camera that I ever bought, the first Olympus camera that I ever bought. My current camera gear, all travel books of countries that I have been or want to visit in the future. Some nice photography books that inspire me a lot, with especially the one from Frans Lanting, really inspiring Dutch photographer. If you don't know him, I'll put his name down here. It's a brilliant photography. Most of the time he shoots wildlife, but also landscapes. He's a very good one. But the reason that I'm here is that I just want to record some editing tutorials, and that's what I want to do in this studio up here. So today I've got two images selected for you that I'm going to show you how I process these images. And to be honest, I did a workshop a couple of months ago, and that was a pretty nice experience actually. It was the first time I had a big group of people with me, and the workshop started at 9:30 in the morning, and I didn't know the area. Someone else arranged everything, and so I decided to go very early to explore the area where I had to take the people with. And the moment I arrived was, I think, about half an hour before sunrise, and I just had these epic conditions, and there was golden light everywhere. There was a beautiful layer of fog, and there was absolutely no wind. So all the water, there was a small river with a dam in it, and there was just this beautiful, serene environment that I got in, and I just walked around for about maybe 30-45 minutes. Not more, that was it. And I took a lot of stunning images. So at the end of this video I will show you all the images that I took on that morning. But I didn't film anything. I was there for photography, to teach people stuff, and I didn't even bring my video camera. So I just walked around there quickly, grabbed some shots, mostly out of hand. I don't think I even used my tripod. And I got back home the next day, and I was thinking to myself, wow, these shots are maybe some of the best I took in the last couple of months. And I thought it would be a shame if I can't show them to anyone. So I'm going to use these shots for this video. And I hope you will like them, and I hope you will like the editing tutorial. So mostly I use Lightroom, Photoshop, and some plugins like Topaz Denoise I usually use, but not on every picture. I think it doesn't work on every picture. So we're going to dive into the computer, and I'm going to show you these pictures right now. So this is my Lightroom catalog for today. These are the two images that I selected for you, and I'm just going to show you how to turn this picture into this, and how I turned this one. And this might be particularly interesting for everyone, because I just have a little technique to show you all these light rays and how to make them pop and glow. So keep watching until this picture, because that might really interest you. So, but I'm going to show you how to turn this picture into something like this. So I'm really happy with this particular picture with those light rays. It's just an astonishing glow, and it's just a snapshot. I saw this girl walking there, and I've got another picture, I think maybe 2 minutes later, someone else walked by there. But I just love how this ponytail is going up. It just gives something extra to this picture, and it's just, actually this was the entrance of the place where I was giving the workshop, and I just walked out, saw this shot, and it's handheld, split-second decision, and it's just really amazing. So I'm going to show you how I edit these pictures. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure I can exactly copy this image, because my normal workflow, when I get home from a shoot, I download all my pictures into my computer, back them up on some hard disk drives, And then, yeah, what I do then is I leave them alone. I leave them alone for maybe 3-4 weeks. I'm not looking at it at all. And I deliberately do that because if I get into these pictures right after a shoot, I usually have one specific picture that I'm really interested in, and I edit that, and the other pictures I leave alone far too long. They might even not come out of my computer at all. And I'm so focused on that image at that moment. So that's something I just don't like to do. I just like to leave them alone. And then after a couple of weeks, I run through them. I give them numbers. I give them 5 stars. I give them a red color. And yeah, that's the way it works. So I will show you a little bit of the catalog. This is something I'll show you in a different video, but I'll show you a different day from, this is one video that's coming in a couple of weeks. And you can see here I give them 5 stars. And yeah, this is the way that I like to work. So let's get back to how I arrange this. Right, that's it. So I'm going to show you how I edited these pictures, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure I can exactly replicate these images, because photo editing is also pretty mood decisive. So if you edit this picture today, it might be turning out completely different than tomorrow. It's not completely different, but just slight details that just feel different, or your eye notices it differently. I don't know. It's quite I think it's all depending on your mood at that moment. So let's dive into this this first picture, and I'll do the second one later. So this is the first picture that I'm going to show you. Yeah, I actually never use these filters on the left side. I just don't like using every image I look on its own, and yeah, I don't do that. The first thing I actually always do is yeah, adjusting the size and of this image. So this image I actually made a 16:9. So this is actually what I'm selecting, and the reason why I'm doing this at first, if you look up here on the histogram, I'll show you the original first. If you see this histogram here, and now I'm switching to a 16:9, you can see that the histogram changes where I change this, where I put this. So that's actually why I do this first, because I don't want to change anything in this histogram afterwards. So it happened to me. It's all slight details, but it has happened to me in the past that I edited a picture and then changed it, and then it gets a little bit brighter or a little bit darker. So if I do this at first, I know this is my composition, this is the frame that I like, and then yeah, this is set, and then it's all okay. So this is actually the first thing I do. I think it was something like this, I guess. So then second thing, I always use one of those filters up here. They're profiles, and yeah, my camera is of course I'm shooting in RAW, and this helps choosing the right white balance. So I usually go for the Adobe landscape, but it all depends on the picture. But in this case, I think I'll use the Adobe landscape. And if you look at it, you can see that the image changes a lot in color. So it just gives that little bit of golden glow that I'm after with this image. So I'm going to reduce those highlights a little bit. Shadows, they can raise up a little bit on this left corner. A little bit more of those whites. And it's all very subtle. Don't go pushing these all the way back or all the way up, because then you get this HD look that I don't think is really natural. So keep an eye on that. And if you asked me a couple of years ago, I would have pushed up this contrast in almost every picture that I took. So right now, these days, I don't do that anymore. I even lower it a little bit. And I don't know why, but it just gives a little bit softer feeling to an image that I'm after at the moment. So that's something I like to do. So I'm just shifting this all a little bit. So this is the basic photo editing. This is the basics, what I do on every picture. So I use these sliders a little bit, and yeah, if you look at the before and after at the moment, you can already see that there is a big difference. So this is the before and this is the after. So there's much more of this golden glow in this image. So what I like to do after this, I always adjust the white balance still a little bit. So I think I will move this a little bit up, and I put some more of these magenta colors in. And then the first thing I do, after I put this basic panel on the top here, I always go all the way down. And not many people use this in editing, but I use this on every single image. So if you go all the way down here, you have the calibration section, and yeah, you can adjust all colors. You can turn yellow into pink, you can turn green into blue, and you can adjust everything in this picture manually. And I just really like to have this control on myself. So what I did in this particular image, I just like how the sun is coming in from the right side, and the left side is a little bit in the shade, and I just put these magenta colors on the left and these golden light colors on the right, and that's actually what I'm trying to do here. So I'm reducing this a little bit. I always use the top slider first. I'm always starting with the red, green, and then the blue. So you can see that you're really popping these colors here, and it's all in the details. So don't go too mad on this, just take it easy and look at it. So this is giving a golden version, this is a little bit more magenta. So I think this is the look that I'm after. And always be careful with the blues. The blues are, there are not many blues in this picture, but if you use the blues, you can see that there's no blue in this picture, but still you can pop these golden colors very heavily. So I'm putting it up. But if you have a picture which has blues, which has sky, which has a lot of shadows like in a forest or something, and you turn up these blues, yeah, then you get a lot of blues in the background and in the shadows, and that's just something I don't like to do very often. So keep an eye out for that. If you have a situation like that, you can always go to the color panel here, the HSL, and then reduce the blues right here. You see it has no effect here because there are no blues in this picture, but the blue slider in the calibration section has influence on the red and the yellow section. So always keep that in mind. And this is actually the basic editing that I used to do. So right now I'm actually sliding this HSL sliders a little bit to see how it works best. I think I will add some of these oranges, a little bit more yellow. So, and if we look at the before and after at the moment, you can see it's a completely different picture. There's a lot of golden glow in it. And what I like to do, I like to use these luminosity masks, and it's actually a gradient filter, I think, and I make them as big as possible, slide them all the way up here, and then just light them from the position that this light is coming. So in this case the sun was on the right top corner, so I always use it like that, and might give it a little bit more of this white balance to the right, a little bit more yellows. And what I actually did on this image is I did another luminosity mask and then a gradient filter, and I used it on the opposite direction. So this one is on the shady part, and I actually used the magenta a little bit more here. So you've got this golden light from the right and then the magenta colors in the shadows, and I just like the play of this yeah, the balance of this. So that's actually what I did. I also used a little pencil here, and I selected these ducks because these ducks are a little bit, yeah, there's a lot of haze around them and you can't see them that good. So I made them, selected them, and then you can also control it right here, because if you say I want these darker areas to be a little bit darker, and I want to reduce the amount of noise. It's all marginal and details, but I think you can see them a little bit clearer now. So that was actually what I was after. So and usually when I've edited a picture, I'll save it on the computer, and the next day I will look at it again. I'm thinking, oh, I went a little bit too crazy on those golden colors, and I might reduce them a little bit. But I don't know if I did that in this case. But as you can see, it's completely different. But yeah, the most important is if you look at the picture that I just edited compared to the original, you can see it's a completely different shade of golden and yellow colors. And yeah, it's all what you like to do yourself. So I think it was a little bit like this morning. These are the colors that I saw and that I wanted to show you with my images. So that's what I replicated with this one. So let's pop into the next image. So this is the one that I'm going to show you. This is the raw file, and I'll show you how I turn it into this image right here. So I'm going to do exactly the same as in the first picture. I'm going to select this the area that I want to show you. So this is going to be a 3x2 or 2x3. I think it's something like this, and I got rid of this thing here on the side, so I reduced it a little bit to this side, not too much, because then this tree is going to be on the edge a little bit too much. So I think this is pretty much it. Yeah, a little bit further to this side. Yeah, I think this is the frame that I used for this image. So selecting the profile, Adobe Landscape, that usually brings out most of these golden colors. Yeah, just adjusting these sliders a little bit. I'm going up with the whites a little bit, and you can already see that those whites influence those sunbeams a lot. So, but I'm not going to use it too much right now. And yeah, you've got this black slider, and actually I don't think I've turned it down too much, but a little bit like this, a little bit more clarity, and so something like this. And I can already say that I'm turning up this white balance quite a bit, because I want this image to be popping with this golden light colors. So this is actually what I think I did. It's always difficult because it's a couple of weeks ago since I edited this picture, but something like this. So now I'm going to show you how I make those these sunbeams come to life. So what I did, I used this pencil right here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint over these using a brush tool, and paint over these light rays. And it doesn't matter that it is not that exact. I'll show you later on. But just all the areas that are selected in this case, I'll just paint over them, and it doesn't matter too much that I'm touching these dark sides at the moment, because if I use these 3 dots here and I say cut through this and then give it a color range, then I select this. You can see it selects all these dark areas. So right now I'm turning it around, and I've deselected all the darker space in this image. So you can see it with an overlay here. So I selected this whole area, and what I think I did in this one is I got away of this section here in the back, because I don't want these light rays to affect this area right here. And I did the same here between those trees, so I'm getting that away, something like this. So now let me show you how I use this technique on these light rays. So what I usually do is I turn up these lights, and it doesn't matter at this point that I'm going too crazy here. So I'm turning up the exposure a little bit, and then I'm turning up my blacks, and look at what happens here. You can see that it's massively affecting those light rays. So I'm turning these up, and then I'm actually using this one. I don't know how you call this in English. I'll put it down here, but it's this one, and you can control the amount that it affects on the top sliders that I just used. So you can see that if I'm turning this down, it doesn't look natural anymore. So usually this reduces these a little bit, but it makes it a little bit softer. So if you turn this up, you can go all crazy here, but it doesn't make the image better. So always keep an eye on the histogram that you're not overexposing anything. But at this point, it's just a question of adding this yellows into this white balance, so that it just looks like this golden light is coming from the top of this image. And using a little bit of magenta always helps. And on top of this mask, I'm going to use a linear gradient filter. And like I did in the last image, I'm going to use these three little dots here, cut through color range, select the darkest part, and then turn the mask around. So now I've got a gradient filter coming from the top, shining into the picture, and I'm turning this up a little bit. Just a little bit more of this golden light. And let's have a look at the before and after at the moment. So this is the image before, and this is the image after, and you can see that it's all slightly in the details, but these light rays just appear to be a little bit more, how do you say that? You can see them a little bit better. But then I'm going down to this calibration tool that I showed you on the last image. So, and now it's all in finding that right amount of golden light that you want to have in this image. So you can see that you can really affect an image with this slider down here. And this is just choosing the color that you want. So I want just this balance between magenta and gold yellowish. And then you can use the intensity with this lower slider. And also in this one, the blue one, you see there's no blue in this image, but still it does affect it massively. So if you turn this section off and on, you see it's just slightly intensifying these rich colors. So I always check this box. I don't know why. I don't know if it has any effect, but it reduces color differences. So I don't see them much, but I always use that. So then you can still use this section down here and adjust these colors a little bit more to your own touch. And you can also use the luminance of one color. So we put a lot of yellow and gold in it. So orange. So you can illuminate those, make them a little bit brighter. A little bit more saturation in this these colors. I think that's pretty much it for this picture. And if you look at the before and after right now, you can see that it's popping a little bit more. I think I had to straighten this image a little bit because the horizon wasn't straight. So let's have a look again. You can see on the left is the original picture, on the right the one I edited right now, and this is the finished result. So let's have a look here. This is the one I just edited, and this is actually the one that I worked on for maybe 2 hours, so I can't show you in 10 minutes how I did it, but this is about it on the guidelines that I just used, and I might have used it a little bit more subtle and a little bit less things, but also this pole here on the right bottom, I just didn't like that, so I cloned that one out in Photoshop. It's actually pretty easily done. So this is the end result. So it's not as saturated as I did right now, but yeah, like I said, it's just all about your mood at the moment. So I think this is a stunning picture, and I'm just really happy with it. And yeah, that's it. So that's what I wanted to show you, especially this technique with those light rays to make them pop. It really helps with this picture, and this picture has some great light rays coming into them. But if you have some really subtle light rays that you want to enhance a little bit, this technique is just really good to do that. So just give it a go. Just turn up those highlights, turn up those blacks. I use this this slider right here to reduce this effect a little bit, and you will see that those light rays can pop out of an image, and yeah, it would be you can make some amazing images with this technique. So it only works if the light rays are there, and you can enhance them. If you have no light rays and you're going to try to use a brush and try to use this technique, it just never gets as good as with normal light rays. So I don't even bother trying it. So if you have them, this is a beautiful technique to show them just a little bit more better into your images. So I think this was the video. So I'm going to show you the images of this morning after this. So keep having a look, and yeah, please let me know what you think of these images, and let me know of what you think of this editing tutorial. So this is the way that I process these images, and I hope to make more of these videos in the future. So I might use the image of my on location video from let's say that I release on Sunday, get the image that I think is the best from that video and show you how I edited that, and yeah, completely from A to Z, the whole process. So I hope you liked this video. Please let me know in the comments, and I hope to see you on this Sunday for the next on location video. So thanks for watching. See you Sunday. Bye for now.